Have you ever noticed that the holiday season tends to highlight whatever is most broken in our lives? Our families, our bank accounts, dreams, friendships, and most importantly, our hearts? During this season, so many of us feel inadequate, lonely, overwhelmed, or just plain blue. Over these past several months, I've often heard people struggling to remain positive when they were feeling anything but positive. Let's face it, this has been an unusually tough year for all of us, and for some, it has been excruciating. Yet, there are many who don't feel right expressing their grief or sorrow for what they have lost because they feel others have lost more. Our losses are personal, and whether they are big or small, in the sight of others, they are still our losses, and you, have the right to feel grief and sorrow over them. The Bible offers us permission and even examples of lament. But what does it mean to lament? It means to passionately express grief or sorrow. Lamenting prayers are raw, unfiltered, and unedited. The Bible even has an entire book on the subject called Lamentations. Looking at lament in the Bible, there are many occasions of lament. We can read the Psalms, Job, Lamentations, and even parts in the New Testament. The Bible is full of examples of lament, and to lament in the Bible tends to follow the pattern of grieving, praise, protest, and then trust. Biblically speaking, lament brings hardship to God, asking God to remember His promises to us and change the circumstances. Expressing our protest, confusion, grief, and sometimes anger to God can actually bring about a closer relationship with God. Trauma counselors have found that lament can be critical for healing. Lament can help us find the words to express our true feelings. The problem with lament is that over the course of history, the biblical lament of prayer to God has become frowned upon. We find that we are expected to speak only in positive terms, and this deprives us of the opportunity to share our stories as they are, rather than as others wish them to be. In the book Glimpsing Resurrection, we read, "If people who are angry at God are given more opportunities to consider that their protest and anger can actually be part of a close, resilient relationship with God, they might be able to come to terms with protest as an aspect of a faithful relationship with God rather than evidence of a lack of faith." It is in our suffering that God's presence can be most felt. God longs for a relationship with us, and part of any relationship is sharing our joys as well as our sorrows and pain. God understands our grief and sorrow. Talk to God, yell at God, cry to God, lament your losses, whether they seem big or small. God is present with us in our suffering. Express your feelings to God in a prayer of lament. From a blog on a website called Jerusalem Greer. My question for us this year is this: what if this Christmas we rested? What if we were able to rest in God's love, His hope, His peace, and His joy? What if we allowed Him to light a small light inside our hearts, a light that will break the yoke of our burdens? What if we celebrated the coming of Christ our Savior in His goodness and His mercy, just as we are, with our broken hearts, our broken families, our broken bank accounts, and our broken dreams? What if this Christmas we didn't pretend to either not care or that we are fine? What if we just entered Christmas as we are, where we are? What if we today live out the words of Isaiah as people who have walked in darkness but who have seen a great light? What if we let that light lead us, flicker by flicker, to a place of hope, to a place where we rest in the knowledge that God is with us, and that whatever else Christmas is, it is light, it is presence, it is hope. May the light and hope of Christmas be present with you this season and throughout the new year.